What is up, everybody? It is your boy Triple G93 here, giving you another Monday commentary match. So, this game is going to be very interesting because it was very rage-inducing in the at the beginning of the game for me, only because I just felt like everything went wrong. Like I just controlled wrong. I build order went bad. I have no idea. It just things just did not go my way, which is fair, you know. And so this is a great way for me to reflect and see what exactly went wrong and what I could have done a lot better. So going after that supply on that right hand side, and already Orange sent his Marines over there, so that's already a big L that I started off with. And so that means he's able to get that power in mid as well, which is quite unfortunate. So I want to try and compensate by getting the supplies over there. And long and behold, he does the ice drop over here on the supply in order to stop my Marines from getting anything. So very frustrating moment already at the very beginning of the game, 1 minute in. So I wanted to try and get extra supplies, but it looks like I just couldn't. So I had to go back to the healing tower where I ended up freezing, and so he's going to get the remainder of that. And because of that, right, I built an extra marine behind this, so this delayed my generator completely as well, the gen. So not really a strong build order start as well either, just because I made the extra marine to go after those supplies there, and it's just really unfortunate that it played out that way. So maybe next time I can go ahead and try and grab these supplies earlier. And speaking of which, Orange now perfectly shows up, getting those supplies and doing some great damage on my Marines. I'm trying to get him to retreat. And now I want to try and do a little bit of pressure since I have the high ground. And I'm making a scout to go ahead and see what's going on. But I'm like, wait, I got to cancel this so I can build an additional supply pad. And it looks like his Marine is still able to hit mines even though I have high ground, which, you know, I thought that's how the vision works, but apparently not. So this guy is getting his way with me. Everything is going his way, unfortunately. And so I'm trying to go ahead and take out the remainder of this Marine over here. And now look, perfectly timed, another Marine shows up. I am now in a very tough spot. But he ends up retreating. And then there, I saw a third Marine. So now I killed one of his Marines, which was fine. But now I'm trying to go for a full-scale retreat on the other hand. I'm trying to make a Jackrabbit to go ahead and deal with that. And now he's working on my node. And Orange is Sereno, right? We know this because threw down the ice at the very beginning of the game. And so I'm just in a very tough spot. So the plan is just wait for them to try and capture the node and then crash into this. I'm going to start making Jackrabbits, and hopefully I get put in a situation where I'll be able to do something. So they're still going with that engagement, but I'm here to just start focusing down on the Marines now to make sure he does not take anything. And so he still has a little bit more Marines that are being produced. So I'm just going to keep on trying to get additional Jackrabbits to try and stay ahead of the game. So I want to try and stop him from capping this node as much as possible. And speaking of which, the ice goes down very perfectly. And so fortunately, I am able to continue to dish out some sort of damage, but those Marines are really doing a number to me right now, and I'm trying to get a good response. I'm trying to stop them from capturing this node, but it's just really not happening. I'm trying to target them down with the Jackrabbit to stop the cap from happening. He's 50% there. If he caps this, the ice is going to go all over that area, which is going to be even more of a pain to cancel out. So we're getting very close. It's at 90%, and I miss microed. I allowed him to capture it, and now we got the node. And what's even worse is that now his hero is over there too. This is probably one of the worst starts I could have had for myself. And so not even Tech 2 yet, but I'm going to go ahead and get that upgrade now that I'm at 1,000 power. I have to build turrets because I'm just in a very tough spot. I've lost my lane entirely. So trying to use the healing spire to heal my Marines. I could also use that to upgrade my heal my Jackrabbits, but we'll see if I end up doing such a thing. And there's still a good engagement that's happening over here in mid, but it's still a problem in general. Great slam. And so this these suicide grunts are just going to go ham on that infantry army, which they're doing a great job on that lane for what it is. But because of the fact that I lost my lane, orange is now coming in to assist, and now they're going to be at a disadvantage because of my mistake. So I really messed up, and I really put my teammates in a very tough spot because of it. So trying to go ahead and heal everybody and then go ahead and try and recapture this node, but right, blue ends up collapsing big time because of it. Light blue ended up losing everything because of it too, and now we're just in a very tough spot as a whole. And I want to try and establish a second base. I'm going to go mech play and just see what I can do. I need to recapture that node to get rid of that ice, but things are pretty dire right now. So many bases destroyed. Blue doesn't get his second base as well, and so two of us are in one base play. It's a tough spot. It's a tough spot. So we'll see if we'll be able to get ourselves out of this situation. And I want to go ahead and try and establish a second base. We got our jackrabbits up. We want to see if orange got a second base as well. See if we can apply a little bit of pressure, get that jackrabbit upgrade for that vision. And we're going to go ahead and check. And so far, no second base. So that's the one thing that's reaffirming. The fact that orange doesn't have a second base is pretty good, because we're going to guess that red got the second base in the back. And so orange is looking to come back. He has some warhogs as well, and so that's my cue to go ahead and get myself out of there. And we recaptured that node on that right hand side, which is really nice as well. And speaking of which, there's now a Spartan over here on this side, so I want to try and get some damage on the Spartan as much as we can, get him out of there, because orange is also looking to try and push this situation. But we do have some mantises that are popping up now. Orange is trying to go ahead and push this now that red has retreated, and I do feel a little bit comfortable trying to cap this, but his leader is showing up, and I decided, okay, we're going to try and hold this position. We're going to double pump mantises, and we're going to see if we can get this position. I have a good Mac ready to go, but I just have to be very patient on when I choose to use this. And so instead I decide to hit the units in the back to go ahead and get rid of any additional cannon fodder that I could probably get rid of, which is those 3 marines and those 2 warhogs. I think that's a pretty good move by me. Help get rid of additional units so then we can go ahead and focus down on the leader. But now red's coming in as well, and seismic toss went down, and a mantis is now being stolen by a Spartan. And just how things were going well, things are starting to go really bad. A good cleansing beam comes down to put a lot of units at red, which that's a good sign, but still this base is not looking too good. And at this point, the base is just here to soak up as much damage as possible. I'm right now just trying to kill as much units as possible. I lost a lot, and so this is my time to go ahead and make the most out of it. So we're trying to micro our mantises that have lost the shields and put them in the back, and put the ones with the shields up front. And we got ourselves a nice heal that happened on my base over there, which is really nice. But as I said, I wasn't expecting to try and keep this base. I'm just here to kill as many units as possible. And so with this continuous chip damage that's happening right now, orange ends up going down. I'm going to drop a heal. Nope, I guess not. And red's at a full scale retreat as well. So this is actually a really good position that has just occurred. The base is still alive, just barely. We're going to get our 3rd gen up. We're going to go ahead and get an armory up to see if we can get our hero. And now we're going to see if we can apply any pressure whatsoever at orange, right? He lost his hero, and they lost a lot of units trying to commit towards that attack. And so now I noticed, hey, orange is trying to make air. So that's my cue to go ahead and make some wolverines, because you know we're going to need that. So what I want to do is try to focus down it as much as possible, have a nice spread in case the ice goes down. And speaking of which, there it is. So only 3 of my mantises get hit, which isn't that bad. I'm trying to get more wolverines to help out. I'm going to go ahead and pop a heal to keep my mantises still alive, because as soon as I get wolverine reinforcements, that air is no longer going to be a problem for me. Definitely moved my rally point because I need that. And now more ice is coming down, and so this is my cue to just start retreating a little bit. I need to clear out that ice. That ice is going to be a problem for me. So I'm going to go ahead and focus that down. We're going to start getting some nightingales. That base is still incredibly red, but not much we can do. We want to try and take out this base, but a cleansing beam is going down on everything light blue has. He's losing so much. And now red has come in to reinforce. I do have mechanical overcharge, which that is looking really nice. But blue has light blue has lost pretty much his whole army. And so I'm still trying to go ahead and see if I can just wing it out and just do a little bit more damage. But now yellow is over here as well, and so that's my cue to just go for a full scale retreat. pop the mechanical overcharge, and just get ourselves out of here. Like, we're just not in a good spot that I want to be at the moment. Yes, I have a huge army, but we got yellow to pull his army all the way to our side. This is my chance to try and recover some of my economy as well. And it looks like I actually got an air pad instead of an army there. So that was a little misread by my commentary skills. And we're going to go ahead and get that upgrade. And so I'm producing more scouts to get more of that vision. But now I need to go ahead and try and keep that pressure back now that yellow has gone back rotating over. And so blue is doing some great damage over here on that red's mini base. Light blue is shifted over to hit yellow on that side. And now we're going to go ahead and get that fortify upgrade just to protect ourselves. And so this is where I wanted to go ahead and keep on trying to pressure the base as much as possible. But he has anti-vehicle turrets, and that thing is kind of just shredding my whole army, honestly. And it's not really something I wanted to deal with, but it's not much I can do. So all I can do is just go for a retreat for now. They're shifting over to deal with yellow's base, and also I just realized I don't need to go fortify right now. I know there's a possibility I could lose that base, but I think healing it, getting turrets up, I feel like I let go some of the pressure here. I could have definitely done a little bit more looking back at it, but at least safe to say, full recovery from the early game mistakes. We've at least evened it out in that regards. And so we're still getting that fortify upgrade, and then we're going to go ahead and get that reinforcements. And then we're just going to try. We can't really pressure, so we're just sitting with our army because he has anti-vehicle turrets. But now we got ourselves our first artillery, and this is where we want to just start pressuring him all together. We're going to get our jackrabbit in a hold position just to be able to see some of the base. And we're going to go ahead and get our 4th gen. And I'm just going to go ahead and keep a nice distance in general. I feel like at this point, if I go ahead and just siege, I'll be able to pressure. I know he's going air. I have a Mac. I have plenty of anti-air with mantises as well. So I think I'm going to be in a good spot. So I ping to let them know, hey, this is what I plan on doing now. I want to siege this up. I need to go ahead and do as much damage as I can. And so there's orange trying to come in to try and do something, but immediate shutdown by light blue in the mass air. And even though he upgraded 300 power for that anti-vehicle turret, it's not coming near me. We're just going to keep this siege up as much as possible. Now that we got the reinforcement upgrade, we can go ahead and start upgrading our air and just keep making Kodiaks so we can just keep pressuring the enemy. Like, at this point, there's no reason for me to try and push. And we're just going to go for a nice siege contain and cause them to try to push the issue. And so, good amount of power is being sent to me right now, which is going to allow me to go ahead and keep up with any upgrades that I need to go ahead and do with. But we'll see if I end up doing any of that at the moment. So, he's trying to get siege up himself, and that's my cue to go ahead and dive in very quick because, right, I don't want him getting siege. If he starts getting siege, this is going to be a tough battle altogether. So, if he is going to do siege, he needs to make it from his main base. And so, we got some great pressuring going on right now. And also, my upgrades are kind of lacking. I'm floating on 2,000 power, and I haven't even upgraded my mantis yet. But looks like he is. Oh, he messed up there. I thought that Kodiak was going to go ahead and get away, but it didn't, which that's the good sign. Hopefully my Kodiaks can choose to pressure that, but we'll see. Okay, I guess not. They're too busy dealing with red all the way at the top. So I'm finally getting those other upgrades that took me a bit to go ahead and get. And I'm going to make additional turrets. And looking back at this, I could have also gotten siege turrets here as well. And so that one Kodiak that did get away is starting to cause a little bit of problems. So I pinged to let my teammate know, since he's the air unit, to go ahead and head over there and see if they can take that out. And speaking of which, he's back trying to take out my siege. And this is what we want. So I popped the combat salvage because I just want to go ahead and try and kill as much units as possible at this point. We're going to go ahead and try and get a very good Mac in, and we do. Great amount of Nightingales, great amount of Hornets that all died instantly. And so now we're using the situation to just keep this push going, right? We're capitalizing off this lead that I was able to somehow gain on this side, and our team stabilized on the other side as well. So that's just very cool in that regards. And we still have combat salvage popped, and we're not really losing units right now, which is pretty nice. And when we do, they're going to end up recovering, but there is one more anti-vehicle showing up. But red has an army himself that he's engaging with on that side. And so right now, just told him, hey, let's just retreat. Let's focus on this base as a whole so we can go ahead and take this out, and then we can go ahead and change our endeavors elsewhere. But we got 2 level 1 Kodiaks, which is looking really, really good right now. That's 15% buff, if I'm not mistaken, and accuracy. So we still have no hero, but we're going to go ahead and get that reinforcement upgrade. That cleansing beam is going down on red, and so red's going to keep doing the best he can to dodge this. This is my cue now. We're going to go ahead and set up shop with our Kodiaks on this side to see if we can go ahead and take out the remainder of the enemy over here. So I'm making additional turrets just in case they decide to go around, even though I only have fortified level 1. And now we're going to go ahead and try and go for a push on this side as well. And Orange definitely got a good read on it. He's sending some army over to this side, but I think at this point he lost a lot of his army, even if he tries to regroup and rebuild. I got upgraded mantises. We're here to take out the turrets. Great mine that's happening by red, but fortunately I was covered by the Kodiaks. And now that all that has been taken out, we're just going to go ahead and focus down on the base. We just want this base taken out as fast as possible. Any type of air that shows up, we'll be able to get rid of it, which is actually kind of funny. If you tell the Wolverine to target fire on the base, it's anti-air. It's not going to go ahead and shoot on the other thing, which, you know, that's pretty interesting in itself. So Orange's base is almost gone, but we're going to start a retreat because we have a bunch of Kodiak. But a lovely displacement comes down by, I believe, light blue. And so very huge play there, and we were able to take out Orange's base as a whole. I'm going to go ahead and guess that Red's army is probably going to get destroyed. Yep, there goes the meat grinder for that. And there we go, Orange disconnected. And from here on out, the game's practically over. So I had a very horrible early game. Very horrible. I was able to recover it with my mech play. They definitely did some overcommitment to try to take out my second base, and then I was able to capitalize off of that. And very fortunate with how this turned out. It was definitely a very, very challenging game trying to crawl myself out of that situation. But hey, it made it an interesting learning lesson as a whole. So definitely learned a bit. Mech is a way to get out, but remember, you got to keep your army alive, and that's exactly what I did. And so that's the important part. Red ends up disconnecting, and at this point, the game is over. So really hope you enjoyed this. I thought this was a cool video to show, and for me to also reflect on how my game went as a whole. And so great matchup as a whole. Went 10 for 49. Teammates went 31 for 46, 53 for 59. So they all went relatively positive. Our economies were pretty decent. Shipmaster, which was dark blue, was on one base longer, so his economy suffered a little bit. But hope you enjoy. Have yourself a splendid one. Keep being awesome, and until next time, G out.